So going on to some of the things that are pertinent or important, I wanted to go over the song by John Lennon because I always thought it was ironic. Imagine all the people living their lives, yada yada, without God. There's no heaven, there's no religion, there's nothing to fight about. Imagine all the people living their lives in peace. Okay? Now, if you've studied world history, no matter what man does, religion had something to do with wars, which nobody could agree upon, but atheism also has to do with wars. This whole idea of imagine all the people came from Hitler, ladies and gentlemen. This whole idea of eugenics, of making a new super race of people that are no longer have any strife or anything in life, came from Hitler and before, ladies and gentlemen. Hitler. Why? Because Germany was looking for a new world order, a new view. And Hitler had it. That we were going to get rid of genetic mutations and problems, and we were going to start a new man, a new Aryan race. And we would get rid of all the genetic impurities. Okay? And the way we would do it is we would exterminate anybody who is genetically messed up. Now think about this. Because what this entailed was getting rid of all of the Jews. They made movies making them look like they were retarded or simple or whatever it was. And about the black people too. And about everybody. So anybody who was undesirable weren't going to be part of this Aryan race. They needed to be exterminated. This was Hitler's point of view. Okay? But you know what? Before Hitler, there was Satan. And Satan says, okay, that to Adam and Eve, that you will not surely die. But the minute you eat of this fruit, you will be like God, knowing good and evil. So basically, genetically, man has been messed up since Adam. And you can't get that bad gene out of mankind. So you can't, by natural selection, which they say has been circumvented, which is something from Darwin. But the problem is that the real truth is that we have been genetically messed up since Adam. Now there were some smart people in the world who were considered dumb, autistic like me, which natural selection would have, according to Darwin, knocked us out. But it turns out that there are some autistic people who are genetically messed up in some ways, or virtuosos on piano, or like Einstein was able to come up with a theory of relativity. So by cleansing society of all that is bad because we're genetically messed up, we would throw away the baby with the bathwater and throw away people like Einstein. You can't separate it, people. You can't just take people and exterminate them so that this way you can come up with a pure race. Because first of all, it's impossible. Because man has been messed up since Adam. And second of all, when you do that, you mess up something that could be really good. People like Beethoven or Mozart, there's some autistic people out there, okay, that have great talent. And would natural selection get rid of them? See, this whole idea of natural selection came from atheism. It came from Darwin. It came from Nietzsche. It came from a whole bunch of people, and it came from Adam, basically, who said that they could create a perfect race by genetically changing us. And by the way, that's what's happening now. They're trying to sterilize our society. Even today, all this stuff came from before Woodrow Wilson. And it went into Hitler. All this stuff. Okay? And what's happening is that really it's Satan. Of course, an atheist can't believe in Satan. What an atheist believes is that somehow or another, if we really look at it, man is all there is, so that we need to sterilize man. So what do? We commit all sorts of crazy atrocities in the name of becoming perfect men. And in the meantime, becoming madmen. And this is who Hitler was. And this is basically the whole reason why Satan was all messed up. It's ironic, but God laughs as man tracht und God lacht. Man tries and man strives and God laughs. And in heaven there will be an end to this. But on earth there will be people trying to strive for human perfectionism, even by murdering massive amounts of people in the name of making a perfect race. And you see, this is the whole thing. This is where when the end battle comes, those who won't believe or hate God will find out in the end that they're so stupid it's incredible. Man in all of his science always has questions. Well, we haven't found out yet. And so they Frankenstein our crops, they put fluoride in our water, they pollute our air, and they do all this, and then you have conservatives and you have liberals and you have socialists and you have the whole world order based on an idea. Conservatives also on the idea of man becoming better. You see? And so what's happening is that the new world order is basically Satan's order. And on earth, the new world order is going to take over. But in the end, Christ is the only answer. Because Christ is the answer that man can't look at. Christ is the only answer, okay, that doesn't involve man's intellect or man's ability to become a better person. Because when man ate of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, he ate of the fruit of man trying to succeed by himself, or by man becoming heaven or becoming perfect. So we're going to make utopia on earth. This is what all of the eugenics all stems from Satan. And even though you don't believe it, that's where it stems from. And the whole idea, even these religious zealots who believe in what they believe in, all right, are all duped, because the answer, my friends, is in Christ and Christ alone. And not the Bible and the Bible alone, but the message of the gospel that tells you that what? Especially if you read Paul's letters. That the wisdom of man will be made foolishness. But the wisdom of God is foolishness to man. But the wisdom of God has nothing to do with man striving or getting anywhere by himself. But all sufficiency comes from the blood of this carpenter that died on the cross, Jesus Christ. And when you trust in the blood, and you trust in Christ doing the work for you, you don't religiously become better, you don't genetically become better, you don't strive for heaven by becoming a better person, although becoming a better person comes from trusting in Christ. But there's no more striving, because you realize that there's nothing you can do to boast in and nothing you can do because of your own pride. And you can't trust in yourself, you have to humbly accept Christ. And that's the problem. People can't humbly accept anything. They have to do it themselves. They have to pay back. They have to show that they gave something for something when Christ gives you something for nothing and you can't accept it. And that's the gospel, ladies and gentlemen. Man can't accept it in his own pride, but Christ gives it freely. Take care. God bless.